All right, it's Sunday, man. Getting ready to fire up another episode of America's first and favorite two-wheel motorcycle talk and entertainment show, Shop Talk, coming to you live every Sunday, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And man, do we got a killer show for you tonight, but it's filled with announcements, stuff that we got going on, a killer guest. You are going to want to make sure you share this. Tell people we're getting ready to go live with this one. Couple shout outs real quick, man. Behind Rudy's Fairing in the house with us, probably across the line first tonight. Big Matt is here with us. Radar is in the house, chomping at the bit, waiting to get to talk to Mark. I know what's up with that. XAM Biker with us. Chris No, checking in from Darien, Connecticut. Haven't seen you for a minute, man. It's good to see you, Chris. So, man, do we got a heavy schedule coming up. I can't wait to tell you guys about America 250. It's 3.5 minutes away until we can get into this episode of Shop Talk and let you know everything that's happening here in the studio and what we're getting ready to do from coast to coast in this great country in a way that's just like a polite middle finger to all the bullshit that's going on right now in the country. Bagger Bader in the house with us. Good to see you, man. Mark, we're trying to get Mark to come on this trip with us, but I don't think it's going to happen. Mark said something about a bus.
Where's your ant button?
And we don't really have bus money right now.
I want to know if there's a possibility, anything with an air conditioner. Does somebody want to drive?
There's that button.
There it is.
Hey, Paul Adams checking in from Ford City. Listen, man, if you're watching any of the 15 social media channels that we broadcast Shop Talk every week, you do not have to be another effing observer. You can get involved. You see those comments coming up on the screen right now. All you have to do is wherever you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, any of the channels, type your comment in there. It comes through to us. We'll try to get to it throughout the show, unless your name's Radar.
Well,
in that case,
whole different story.
We just don't answer.
Poor Radar.
Oh, my goodness.
What?
Great show.
We have to go somewhere. He's heading here on the 27th.
Oh, my goodness.
Shocking we're going to be out of town, Radar.
So we're 2 minutes away from starting this one. That's enough time to get a cold drink, kick back, and relax. Get ready. It's about to go down. Oh, look.
What?
Talking about wet beef. Don't know when you're going to be in Chicago, but they're having the first Chicago roast beef
When
fest.
is that?
Nice.
You shut your mouth.
Yes.
Oh. I enjoyed 2 days of great riding with friends. Good times. You know, man, we had an absolutely killer weekend, too. Big Pines Run this weekend, and I got to send a shout-out to our boy Ed Kerr, his birthday, and that was our birthday celebration with him, was getting together with a bunch of the guys from all around the country up in Geneva on the Lake. And if you are from this region and you know what's up about Geneva on the Lake,
Cool place.
man, it was awesome. You know what I didn't get to do, though? I didn't get to go to the goddamn hot dog place.
Oh, no crap.
No.
Well, that sucks.
Mark Hendricks, look at that. Had fun this weekend. Thanks for the hangs. Mark was with us. Shane, Conrad, great seeing you too, man. Yeah, it was a good time. 1 minute out, man. We're 1 minute away from firing this one up. Go tell your friends. Hit the like and share button. Don't be stingy with that love. Kick it. You know. Radar says Chris never answers me when I call, so he don't call me. Yes, you do. Yes,
Hey,
you
Radar,
do.
he doesn't answer me when I call him either. Don't feel bad.
I just can't hear her.
Well, don't feel bad, Radar. I don't answer his calls when he calls me. So
That's where I learned it from.
Yeah, right.
Right there. Where I learned it from.
Can somebody please send emergency espresso to the office? Please.
Largest.
All right, man, listen. This one's close enough. We're 12 seconds. It was time to pull this one out of the station, get up on the track. So let's go live with this week's episode of Shop Talk. Here we go.
Welcome to Shop Talk, your all-access pass to the heart of the motorcycle world. Every week, we fire up the mics with riders, builders, legends, and celebrities, bringing you raw stories, wild rides, and real talk from the road and the garage. From custom builds to killer events, we're covering the culture that keeps your wheels turning through the week. New episodes drop every Sunday. Watch on YouTube or listen wherever you get your podcasts. This is more than a show. It's the sound of wrenches, good times, and the open road. This is Shop Talk, now available. on CycleSource TV through Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Android TV, iOS, and Android.
Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It is just after 9 p.m. And I mean, like, probably as close as we've been to on time for a long time. It's time for another episode of Shop Talk here in the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. I am your host, Chris Callen with CycleSource Magazine, and I am joined by my ever-faithful crew with bated breath. They wait.
Bated breath.
Howdy, howdy.
Should I come onto this one and say, hey, Mon? Hey, Mon? I don't know how to.
Mark spent his weekend at a reggae fest
Right?
in the middle of absolute nowhere,
Now,
Pennsylvania.
Listen, I don't want to be judgmental. God knows. But look at this face. Is that the face that says, I can't wait for some reggae?
Funny, a lot of the people there looked like it. What I was bummed about was actually me and Brandon. Brandon, Big Rick's son, has a festival called Roots in the Forest every year, and hated the fact that I was going to have to be there, and had an amazing time. It was super cool. It was awesome. And we kept saying what we wanted to do was get the hell out of there for 5 minutes and ride up, because we weren't real far from the Big Pines Run.
I know, dude.
Just to, like, run into everybody, which I just got a text from Brian that said, tell Chris I'm going to try and keep on this one. He said, but boy, it's been a long weekend. So,
dude, Brian and his girl and Doug, they were so beat. They dragging ass
imagine.
trying to keep all that together. It's hard, man. It's hard putting an event together.
It's a job.
Even when you're doing something for your buddies and, like, you know, because you want everybody to be happy.
You know, it's almost the same whether it's 50 people or 5,000 people.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
It's still, you still want it to be great, and you take all those extra steps.
Except the possibility of lawsuits and criminal
one idiot.
charges.
Yeah, there's always one idiot.
True.
Radar, my breath does not smell like nicotine gum anymore.
No, it does not.
And I haven't done cocaine for a long time. Actually, for a really long time. That's a whole other story. So, listen, man, if you guys have not been paying attention to anything that we're doing or talking about.
Come out from under your rock.
Yeah, like, there is some shit going on. So,
dude,
on our way up to Laconia.
Which, by the way, was awesome.
Yeah, dude. We have to talk about that. Mark, do you know we had to wait in line to get into the Weirs? Do you know how long it's been since Laconia?
Well, that's only because people have lost more brain cells and forget there's a whole other way in.
No, it's not.
Still the amount of people.
It was crazy. And young people, dude.
Yeah.
The stunt kids came out like crazy. There was young people at Laconia. Like, it was a really, really good time.
CFO, Craig Finnerty Originals, and his whole crew, they put together an entire week-long stunt competition. And they had like 40 or 50 participants stunting. And they did such a killer job with that. So big, huge kudos to them for pulling that one off.
So real quick, we got to talk about this. On the way to Laconia, we were talking about the fact, you know, everybody, I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. Everyone knows all the bullshit that's been going on between Harley and Indian, and, you know, and then you go through the rest of it. It's not just Harley and Indian. It's everything from Republicans and Democrats and conservatives. And,
every opposite.
And, you know, like the whole thing, like everybody just wants to pick a fight. And for my 2 cents in it, when I got into motorcycling, it was because I was checking out from all of that shit. You know what I mean? And I didn't want the hassles, man. Like, you know, I know it's cliche and like it's talking.
Wait,
like
you don't want the hassles, man, or the hassle from the man?
I didn't want the hassle from the man.
Okay.
We just want to ride our machines to be free. But for real, we actually did want to get away from the hassles, and we were talking about that. We were like, you know what, man? Like, in celebration of America's 250th birthday, what if we just did that and went coast to coast and did all the media and everything that goes with it, talking about the things that made this country great, that brought us together, you know, and like and did a real story about how great the United States is and the accomplishments that we've made. And, you know, what we came up with, man, is we're going to do a ride the whole way across and hit some of the greatest points of interest, you know, starting with Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty, Liberty Bell, Washington Monument, St. Louis Arch, the beginning of Route 66, obviously corporate Harley-Davidson headquarters, Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone National Park, the very first national park, national park system in the United States, Golden Gate Bridge, the Hollywood sign where dreams started and where a lot of them ended.
Yeah, right.
And the Santa Monica Pier, which is officially the end of the Mother Road. So, like, we are leaving in what? Less than 48 hours.
Well, I'm leaving in less than 12.
Oh.
Because I'm driving. I have to drive Miss Judy back to New Hampshire tomorrow. And then I'll leave her house at 3:30 in the morning on Tuesday to catch a flight to New York so I can meet him there.
So I'm going to pick her up from the airport. We're going to Ellis Island, where she's literally going to look up her family's names.
I'm trying to find my family.
I know.
I know their names when they came.
Story started, right?
I know they were 1901 and 1902 respectively. So I'm really hoping that I can find them. I think that'll be awesome. But I got to tell you, he throws this idea out at me between my mother's house and Laconia, which is like an hour. It's an hour between the two. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, super cool idea. And we're spitballing it. Before I know it, he's got a motorcycle being delivered, like, and all of this stuff. And we get there and we just kind of go into doing what we have to do.
But dude, it was one of those things where like people were like, yeah, it's a good idea. I dare you to do it.
So Thursday night, no, this is on Wednesday. Thursday night, we're sitting there telling my sister about it. And he's got a video of it. And we're like talking about the route and all this stuff. And he starts talking about timeline. And I was like, you want to do this when? And how fast? And I literally had like, I'm excited about it, I'm having a panic attack about it all at the same time.
I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. We are not independently wealthy people. You know, we're a mom and pop operation. And if we're going to do something like this, it's got to be fast. So we have 9 days allotted for this trip. And that's a lot of time for some of the shit that we've done.
And not only that, you want it to happen on this time, you know, at this time of the year.
Over the 4th of July, while the country's celebrating independence and your birthday. And like, yeah, man, I mean, it's the perfect time to do it.
And I wholeheartedly agree. My biggest thing is I want to make sure we do the trip justice, excuse me. And be able to hit like the mom and pop places and talk to the people that come together to make this country great.
Well,
so
you have watched what happened with this magazine and the TV channel and all that over all the years. It's going to happen anyway.
So you saw what Bagger Bader was saying about the Chicago wet beef sandwiches. Some of our plans are as simple as the food that made the area famous. Like when we hit Philadelphia, the Liberty Bell is important.
Yep.
That is where freedom rang out, right? Also important, Pat's and Gino's. Yeah. Which one actually makes the best
and the
Philly
Rocky
cheesesteak?
Steps.
Yeah. You know? And we got to run up the Rocky Steps. We got to do all the kitschy, touristy bullshit.
We've got a couple side gigs, side stops scheduled.
The sad thing is, what would be really cool is to be able to do this now and run it, and then take some time and get a small group of us to go do it like shit dicks. You know, go have a blast and go argue about. You know, I'm not running up them freaking steps, and let's I like this one better than the other.
You know me and Heather. There will be some arguments.
Yeah, right.
There will absolutely be some arguments.
Oh,
but it would be fun. And then also earlier I had said, this is when it comes down to the time where you wish this was like a big motorhome magazine instead of a motorcycle magazine.
I know, but
whatever. I never get nothing.
Motorhomes are way more stupid than motorcycles.
Yeah, and again, I think the only other thing too is like. While the timing for the trip is phenomenal over the 4th of July when everybody is celebrating the anniversary of this country, there's so much going on with Smoke Out and Sturgis and all those other things.
God! Like,
so
what happened?
I think that's the thing that's might tip us over the edge. We'll see.
Well, this is
Chris said to me, he says, "Can we get an iPad so you can work while you're rolling down the road?" I was like, "What?"
Hold on, Chris. Big Brian just texted me and said, totally beat up, and the whole 9 yards event was cool and all that. And then he said, "Warn Heather that Chris is going to be Clark Griswold the whole way."
Oh yeah. Oh totally.
She's going to wake up and they're going to be under a truck in Montana somewhere.
Oh, you think I don't see that?
Yep. Oh, I know. I know the whole thing. Well, like on one hand, we travel so much, and we're so fortunate to be able to go do the things that we get to do. But because of our lives being on a deadline for everything, we Griswold pretty much everything. Look, there's a Grand Canyon. Come on, honey, look at that. So I knew that was going to be the case. So when he said that we could actually go to Ellis Island
Yeah,
I was floored.
We have to, right?
Yep.
I mean,
that I was going to have that
starts.
opportunity.
Yeah, we have to.
know?
And we have to. And no matter what, if it ends up taking a couple extra days, we got to do this stuff, because one of the things that we want to do is we want to take you guys with us.
Yep.
So every night we have allotted a certain amount of time that we're going to do daily updates. We're going to tell you everything that went on that day on our YouTube page. We're going to be putting all kinds of stories and reels and all that shit on all the social media. But at the end of this, we're going to have a probably 2-hour long documentary that we cover all of this stuff, man, and and tell a story about the country and motorcycling, and get away from the bullshit.
Yeah. I told Chris Mark that we need to do, it's going to be a daily diary. I think we need to do 3. I'll do mine by myself. He can do his by himself, and then we'll do ours together.
Yeah. She wants to talk.
No,
shit
I think that's awesome though, because
the
perspectives are so different.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I'll do one too from home, and then I'll let you guys know how that goes.
And I did ask him if I could bring some packing tape, so when we're going across 90 in South Dakota, I can watch a movie on the back of his helmet.
Yeah, right. Duct tape something to his helmet.
Whatever.
Nice.
So listen, man. Here's a quick reel about it.
But
you want to get out to our social or any of our social media, but especially YouTube for the daily updates. Make sure you subscribe so you see when the stuff comes up. But here's our reel on America 250. 2 wheels, 1 nation. America turns 250 this year. Instead of looking for what divides us, we're going looking for the things that still bring us together. The adventure, the freedom, and exploring it all on the back of a motorcycle. The road is calling, and America is waiting. That's America. Here in the Dennis Kirk studio, that's America.
Dude, I had to take I had a T-shirt on with America red, white, and blue 2000. I had to take it off. I couldn't wear it, and then all this.
Right on, man. Well, listen, we got a great show tonight. Drew from Evolution Cycles is here with us, and we're going to be bringing him on next. But first, we're going to check out a cool feature bike.
Which happens to be.
Yeah, tell everybody about this motorcycle.
On the cover, on the cover of issue 320, Revere, built by Josh Allison. It's a beautiful motorcycle, and I think probably one of the nicest, classiest theme bikes I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, buddy. Let's check it out.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
My name is Josh Allison. I'm from Danbury, Connecticut, and I'm American Metal Customs and American Metal Whiskey. So this is the Oscar Mike Foundation bike. I built this last year for the foundation, all the beautiful work that Noah does with wounded veterans, and it also represents the 250th birthday of our country this year. So this bike was a very special bike, meant a lot. Me and Chris always give back to veterans what they've done for this country, and Noah's such a beautiful person and what he's done. His story is absolutely amazing too, how he got to what he does, being paralyzed and all the struggles he's been through. So it was a very meaningful bike, probably the most meaningful bike I've ever built. So when me and Noah were going through what it had to represent, one of the things we wanted to do is take all the military coins to represent every branch of service members. So all over the bike you have that, and primarily I have them all there, the Navy, the Coast Guard, the Marines and whatnot. Up here we put the boot knife in there, the American flag, and the Navy SEAL emblem in there. The Navy SEALs, I mean, as everybody knows, so badass, you know, the top of what they do. But there's a couple cool key parts. The sword, Noah reached out to me, the Marine military sword that they all get when they do, you know, banquets and stuff. He's like, man, how do we incorporate? And I didn't know how to do the sword, so I cut it apart. This is the blade of it. This is the handle, and then that's the hand protector that ended up being the air cover. When you get into the Marines, this is the K-bar that they give you. And so each one is issued this. And Noah sent me a picture when he was serving in Afghanistan, and the knife's on his boot when they're in back of a Hummer. And he's like, dude, if you can put one of those on there, it would mean a lot to me. So I tried really hard to incorporate these things into the bike. And also, well, the biggest challenge for me is to not make it cheesy. How does it be fluid with the bike and make sense? I've been to all the shows in the country and I've been very lucky, you know, but this is our 4th year at Mom and Tried, and what Warren and Scott have done here, the culture, the people, it's so nice. Everybody's so authentic, and the real deep core passion for motorcycles here. There's no egos, everybody builds each other up, and it's absolutely amazing. So to be back here again, representing the brand and to have these bikes shown here, it's an honor. And I'm just really thankful, man. My name's Josh Alton. I'm from Danbury, Connecticut, of American Metal Customs and American Metal Whiskey, and you're watching Cycle Source TV.
It's motorcycle season, and you know what that means? You're gonna need a lot of parts. Thankfully, Dennis Kirk has everything to get your motorcycle on the road fast. We have oil and filters, and every possible fluid you can think of for your machines. We've got loads and loads of tires for motorcycles, ATVs, UTVs, and dirt bikes. A ton of great chain and belt options. Air filters for all kinds of machines. The largest variety of engine rebuild and gasket kits you'll find anywhere. And a whole lot more. Place your order before 8 p.m. Central and we'll get it out the door the same day. Place your order for $89 or more, and shipping, it's on us. So, get your order placed and get some garage time on the calendar. We've got work to do before the fun begins. Ride more, wait less. Dennis Kirk.
This is Rick from RKB and you're watching Shop Talk.
Hey, it's Max Flinders here. I race the 88 bagger with Tobacco Road Mad Monkey Racing. And we're here today to promote the new Lindell wheels, the monolithic wheels that we've been race developing for the last 3 years. These wheels are absolutely awesome. Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, and Mad Monkey wouldn't let me race with anything but proven material. We've been testing them. We've put them through everything we can for the last many races. So the Lindell monolithic wheel on the bagger is so amazing because these bikes are so heavy. We need to get the lightest, strongest parts we can, and these wheels are lighter and stronger than any wheels I've ever tried before. They're the only reason I want them. The flickability of them, their strength, the way they hold up under braking, they're absolutely amazing. Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, Mad Monkey, and Lindell Racing, we're testing these things like crazy, and we are just getting started. Can I just say whatever I want?
Yes, Max.
All right, just go buy the wheels from tobaccoroadhd.com.
All right, man. Welcome back to Shop Talk. Of course, he's gonna say everything he wants to say. Who's gonna tell Max not to, right? Hey, listen. Glad that you're here, man. If it's your first time watching Shop Talk, this is a show that we've done now nearly 350 times. We do it almost every week. It's amazing. Nobody's more surprised than me.
Definition of insanity.
With that
Right.
frequency. But
I can't believe Dennis Kirk keeps letting us in the studio to do it.
But tonight we have a special guest. We were just hanging with him at Party at the Pen. And if you guys haven't heard us talk enough about that or seen enough about it on social media, Party at the Pen was off the hook. The location was killer. The bikes were incredible. But it was the conversations that we had with cats like Drew walking around this place that really make it worthwhile. And, man, when we did a little bit of feature with him with one of his bikes, and knew that we had to have him on. So let's get him on and introduce you guys to Drew Huddleston from Evolution Cycles. Drew, what's up, man?
What's happening, guys?
So glad that you could be here with us tonight. I've been looking forward to this. I've been, doing my pre-show homework and stuff and watching a whole bunch of your stuff, and your show is so cool. We said this in pre-show, like how it's a breath of fresh air because of how honest you go about whatever subject matter it is. If you have a guest on, I watched a show the other night that you had your entire family on, and this man has 3 daughters, 4 women in his life full time. the fact that he can keep it together the way he does is amazing. But that you do that and you do it all in such an honest way, it's fantastic.
I tell him a lot. It's a woman's world, and they let me live in it.
Yeah. Funny how that works, huh?
Hey, it's easier to get along with them than try and disagree with them.
Right.
Man. So I don't want to jump ahead too much. I mean, your story, and this is stuff that I found out from watching your show too. Your story actually, rather than most of us who will start out saying, yeah, you know, my old man and his buddies and blah, 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 it was actually the other side of your family. It was your mother that got you into motorcycling.
Correct.
Tell us
So
about
here's
that.
the best part. My dad can't even change a light bulb. He is a phenomenal coach, phenomenal teacher, but with the tools is not his forte. And but my mom, in my house, my mom would always kind of do the minor fixing of stuff.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's great, dude.
Yeah.
So how did she get you into motorcycles?
So she actually went to work for Harley. Her and my brother worked for a Harley dealer in town, and I would just go and sit up there. And, you know, when I got out of whatever I was doing, I'd go and sit and watch all the bikes roll in. And I was like, man, I wish I could have a bike. That'd be cool. But there was one day a chopper rolled up and take my money. I was sunk.
So let's talk about that. Let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about you growing up. You know, because one of the things I found out from
Wait, first, have I grown up yet?
Well, there's a
None
fine
of you
line.
have.
Yeah.
we're going to talk
No.
about physical.
Okay.
Maybe by the end of the show we can get into emotional.
Right,
but
right,
I'm
right,
not going to push
Mental.
on that.
Let's say that. Put it on
Right.
the mental. Yeah.
Let's just start with the physically growing up, like you as a teenager in your late teenage years. Tell me about your life, because I actually heard something in one of your shows about you playing on the U.S. soccer team. I want to actually start with that.
So a lot of things I don't tell people this a lot. So this is going to be shocking to a lot of people. I was actually a pretty decent soccer player. I happened to make the U.S. international team, and we traveled to Amsterdam and played. At 16, I spent part of the summer in Europe playing other teams like Ireland and the Ajax and just all the good teams.
And see, that's so badass, man. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring that up, was not to reveal anything shocking about you, but anybody that watch your programs, like, you'll get into the fact that you have 3 strong daughters that you raised, and 2 of them actually followed in your footstep with sports too, right?
Amazing. So I had 2 absolutely phenomenal soccer players. My oldest daughter, she could have went to college. She had scholarships, and she chose to go academically. The middle child, I hate to say the better player, but I think her skill set was better than even mine, to be honest with you, at that age. And she ended up being all-state soccer player, all-state basketball player, all kinds of accolades that make me proud.
Now, you know, watching that episode too, you know, and being a father of a daughter myself, like, I understand the kind of pride that comes in from watching your daughter do well. But your oldest daughter really, really has her shit together.
Oh,
and that's something
better
that's
than me. It's ridiculous.
But I think
and now that she's a new mom, I'm getting to see that side of it with her. So it's kind of cool to sit back and watch her mom. You know, I think too many of us get caught up in the daily grind of forgetting just to sit and watch your kid be a mom when they're at that age, or just sit back and enjoy that type of stuff.
Just to watch them come just to grow, and like you said, to be able to watch them change. Unfortunately, I never got to spend a lot of time with my daughter, but I have nieces and nephews that are like my kids, and one of my niece Adrian turned 40 last weekend. So we got to spend time with her, and that girl, same thing like you. She's effing brilliant. She's a doctor. She is just one of the greatest kids ever. And like you said, that pride level, all 4 of those, you know, all 4 of those nieces and nephews are like my kids, just make you feel like a better person when you're in the room with them. You got to be super proud of those kids.
Oh, so everybody always asks me, what's your oldest daughter do? And I tell them, I said, look, I don't know exactly what the title of her company is. I don't know what product she really peddles. I know she's the director of Canadian and U.S. operations for this pharmaceutical company that sells something to somebody, and that's all I know.
It's a big job.
No,
it's a big job. They
yeah.
talked about it on the show, and when he first said it, I love this interaction. When he first said it, he was like, she's the director of Canadian operations, and she was like, and the U.S. Like, she was like,
oh yeah,
She's like,
because she stopped
hello.
me cold. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, apologies.
And that's weird. As
great.
odd as it is, my niece has her doctorates in pharmaceuticals, so they probably know each other because that's all she deals with is heads of big corporations through Europe, Canada, and from what I'm gathering, that's all she does. So it's
I'm
weird.
sure they've ran into it. And her fiance, boyfriend, half-step, live-in partner, I don't know what they're calling each other today, nor do I care. But he is actually medical sales to the hospitals.
Oh, right on.
That's awesome. That's
So-
everybody. I mean, every parent on the planet always wishes better for their children. I wish my children do better than I do, and I wish that I've led by example. And it's always so rewarding when they actually do.
Yeah, right.
right.
I told my kid when I helped them move into their new house right out of college. I said, I need to go to school and get a bunch of debt. Oh, your house is bigger than mine, and you guys are just starting. What's going on
Right.
here?
Isn't that funny? I pulled up at my sister's today, and there's a brand new Range Rover or Land Rover in the drive. I'm like, who the fuck's is that? Oh, it's Adrian's new car. Like you said, you've done something wrong. Yeah,
No, Mark.
Oh, you've done something right.
No, right. Yeah. Well,
You've
you
done
have for them,
something
right?
Mark, check this out though. This is the episode that I'm talking about. These are his daughters. The fact that the next part of the show that we're going to talk about him being an MMA fighter should be no surprise at all to anybody.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, strong, intelligent women. Like it was really great to watch you guys, man. And like I said, it's a breath of fresh air to see somebody be so honest and genuine about their life and not have to keep up, like a tough guy bullshit persona out in front of everything. You're just a real person.
Yeah, and maybe let's look at this way also. Like a lot of people, we've been saying it forever. Profiling, being judged, and people look at us like your picture at the party at the Pen, like, oh, check this freaking dude out. And then you step up with those three daughters and say, not only are they beautiful, but they're absolutely talented. Like they're educated, they're talented, and you did that.
Well, I would like to give credit to my wife for most of that.
I'm saying, but
and he does that pretty good too.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm saying in general.
I don't pull any punches. She is definitely the glue.
Right.
She is. I tell her all the time, you're the better parent. I'm just here for the muscle and hustle.
Yeah.
Right. That's great.
It takes two, though.
Oh,
I mean, I don't care how you twist it or
100%.
turn it. It takes two.
Listen, I appreciate that because same thing with me and Heather. She does all the real heavy lifting, but there was one part in the show where you said about you never pushed your kids to do anything. If they came to you and they wanted to do something, 110% support.
That's the only way.
But you never pushed your kids to do anything. And it's those things, man. It's that that kind of interaction with kids that really take them in a good place.
So my middle daughter is wants to do everything perfect. If you tell her, run this play, 3 steps, take a cut, and 3 steps the other way, she's doing 3 steps and she's stopping. There's no ad lib, there's no anything. A literalist. And I would get, after she'd play a game, I'd say, okay, for 10 minutes on the ride home, if you want to talk about it, what was this or this, I can give you some tips. If you don't, cool, be a kid. Yeah. And in some games, it was just me pulling what little hair I had out because I'm like, oh, I know you're better than this, but it was growing as a dad watching because I had to remember, look, you're not playing anymore. Sit down, old man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
they were talking about he was rebuilding a motor in the kitchen, a whole motor.
My panhead motor on the Bandit.
And talk about that for a second because you were telling a story about how you left before your wife came home so that she couldn't yell at you.
Yeah. So my good friend Chris, he's my painter. He goes by Nobody Knows I'm a Shithead on the internet. And I called him and I'm like, hey man, it's starting to get cold. I was drag racing. It's a shovel lower pan top. It's hot. It's a hot motor. And I was dragging it down and I knew I've been playing with the timing just to get a little bit more and a little bit more. And well, I got a little bit too much. And it spit the head gaskets plumb out of it. And so I had it in my garage and I called him. I'm like, man, I need to get it together, but it's getting colder. I can't do it in my garage. My shop's full. So I unplugged the Blink cameras or whatever piece of shit system my wife is paying for these days. And I rolled it, like we carried it up the couple steps into the house. And at that house, I had a big kitchen that we didn't hardly use, but, you know, passing through. So I just rolled it in the kitchen and I put a rug under it and left. I went back to Chris's house. I thought, okay, I got till 5 o'clock. And then I can, like, just to let her, she gets off work. And about 3:30, I get a FaceTime from my wife. Get it out. I go, honey, it's a pan. That's where pans belong, in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So the next couple days, I put it back together. And so I have a weird, uncanny ability to never sleep. I thank you, ADD. But I literally 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm putting the last little bits and pieces on it. Everybody's dead ass asleep in the house. And all of a sudden you got, I think at the time my oldest daughter was in college, so I think it was the two youngest, running out of their bedrooms. What's going on? House is all carbon monoxide up and black smoke everywhere. Let's just say I slept on the couch a couple of days.
Yeah, I think that would be completely
well worth
justified.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Right?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if you ever want to hear how good your bike sounds, start it in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, especially listen. I know. I've done the kitchen fire up.
Yeah, Chris's dining room for a couple of years was the shop.
There's something about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning that the harmonics dynamically.
Yes.
This is the best your motorcycle is ever going to sound.
So it happened to be my bike. So it's an 80-inch lower shovel, 10.5 to 1 compression, dual head plugs. It's a big cam. It's a runner. Big, tall exhaust up the top like I always do. So this bike is just obnoxiously loud and fast. It sounds like, a muscle car sitting in the living room.
So I'm going to ask the obvious question. How do you go from international soccer star to building panheads in your kitchen?
Oh.
So I am the type of person, I want to try everything. It's me and my wife laugh. If you guys are picking on like a few things that have been out there, if I wrote a book of everything I tried, the only thing it would be on there is surgery, and it's just because they won't let me. Yeah. I would try it.
That's like Chris is the same way though.
No, listen,
good on you.
One of my favorite quotes from him in my discovery here is, if there's a YouTube video, he's tried it.
Yeah.
He's going to.
Yeah. And that's 100%. Like it's the running joke between me and my wife, because she'll be looking for furniture. I can build that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
And then she's like, no, you can't. You can't build. I go, I'm building $60,000 and $70,000 motorcycles on a freaking daily, lady, and you're telling me I can't build a chair?
Yeah. Yep. Right. Yep.
She goes, well, when have you worked with wood? Never.
Yeah.
But I'll figure
but
it
it's
out. God,
wood.
that sounds
That's
like
right.
It's wood.
Oh, Chris is the same way, Drew. Chris is the same way, and I know it's coming. He has his tell is, hey baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey baby,
Yeah.
I have an idea, and I'm like,
Yeah.
at that point, I literally just put my head down, and I'm like, okay, what is it?
That's the beauty of my wife, is she usually goes along with my stupidity. And all right, honey, yeah, give it a try. Because my wife's super laid back, and we're yin and yang. I am wound tighter than a hammer. She is laid back, checker for a pulse, and I love that. And
That's
she's like, all right,
balance.
well, go ahead. But then it's usually a fight, because she's like, well, I already ordered it, so you don't need to buy it. I go, oh, so you didn't think I could do it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were talking about raising your kids too, and thank God my father, when we were younger, we all worked with my father, and he gave us the ability to do exactly what you're talking about. Hey, I got this job, we can do it. It didn't even matter what it was.
Oh, yeah.
And we figured it out, and we went and did it, and from again building. At one point in my life, I was in a school bus in a parking lot in Harmerville, sewing the seats for a Denny's.
Right.
And never I was like 19 years old. Never did it in my life, you know?
A lot of people don't understand. A lot of the stuff you bring in on a motorcycle, I haven't seen every possible issue in man that a motorcycle's done, you know? So some of it's just like feeling it out and be like, oh, well, I know what we're talking about, and let's just take it apart and see what happens. You know,
right, so
and now, like when I first started, obviously I never built a transmission, but I had somebody come in with a blown up transmission. So guess who had to figure out how to build a transmission?
Yeah.
Yep.
So tell me one of like the most odd or unique things that you're like, hey, I'm going to try that.
Definitely not vegetables. Nothing's odd to me. Nothing's odd to me, really. I mean, I was a private investigator for a while too.
Well, I said most unique.
No, listen, that's neat. That
is till it isn't.
Yeah.
And I say that the title's cool.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, when you're sitting in a van in -3 degrees for 8 hours, it's not so neat anymore.
Right. Yeah. See, you don't think about that, huh?
And then so today it was 95, humid. It was like 115 heat index. So literally you can't have the car running. So it's no air, no nothing. There is times I'd be sitting in the back of this van, like, cause it has curtains that you close. It's called the cave effect. You open one, close the others, you can't see in.
Yeah.
And I'd be sitting there just in my underwear on a bucket, sweating to death. Just praying this guy would walk out of his house so we could get some air flowing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think about that.
No, but I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to actually sit there and think of everything I've done. What is probably the oddest or the most unusual?
Well, I have to imagine, based on the path that you've been on for the past almost decade, that there's something special, extra special for you with motorcycles and the style of motorcycle you build, that you're like, this is it. This is what I'm going to spend my life doing, and this is how I'm going to make a living for my family. What was that thing for you?
The catalyst, yeah.
What was the catalyst? Yeah.
So this is probably going to choke me up. And I know he's watching, because my brother is a sales manager at Big St. Charles, or assistant sales manager. And I was going through a divorce, and he knew he got a fat boy, a blue fat boy, that he came right into my house. He knew, and I was like, prick. You know, just rubbing it in. I was going through a divorce at the time, so I couldn't afford butter to butter my toast. He bought me a 2003 Sportster so I could ride with him.
No shit.
Nice.
Yeah. And then he moved me into his house because so since the divorce, I had nothing, I had nowhere to go. I was going to basically be, on my thumbs in my car. And so I lived with him. That's where me and my wife started our first year together, was in his house with him, hanging out with him. But so I opened a detail shop first out of the garage, just so I could learn more about motorcycles and I could touch them and figure out what parts what. And it just slowly spiraled to me buying a Temu welder off eBay and going from there.
That's great.
Right
man.
on.
That's great. What a fantastic introduction to motorcycles. Oh, because that's the stuff that we talk about all the time. Yeah. Is when you get down to what's really good about this thing, it's those moments. It's the moments between people.
Yep.
It's the things that we do for each other. It's the time that we share.
Absolutely.
It's not the bragging
and
rights
it's to be able to give back to other people. Maybe not the person that gave it to you, but have the ability to know when somebody needs a hand and when to be there for
and I have severe ADHD. I'm talking off the rails ADHD. I can't ever sit still. I'm fidgety. And that, for some reason, motorcycles were my calm.
Yeah.
Now, this was the motorcycle you had at Party of the Pen, right?
Yeah, it is. The old River Rat, that old dirty bastard.
Now, let's talk about some of your motorcycles, because when I was watching some of your programs, and for anybody out there, you definitely want to get over to his YouTube channel and see Chopping It Up. Chopping It Up is the series that we're talking about, the shows that he does, and it's definitely worth you spending some time and go down a rabbit hole with this. lots and lots of fun conversation. But one of the things that I really thought was cool is you build a motorcycle for every one of your daughters. And I just wanted to get you to talk about that for a minute, because I loved, again, your honest approach about they can do whatever they want. They can keep it, piss on it, sell it, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll sell it for them. Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. So that's the cool thing is, luckily, nobody's came to me and said, Dad, I want to sell that bike. Because I'm going to tell you, I'd cry.
Yeah.
These bikes mean the world to me, and I just ride them every day, I didn't, like, me and my wife don't have a lot. She went with me and said, look, I believe in you. I know we're going to be broke, but let's go for it. So we don't have anything. We never really had anything to leave our kids. So as I was building bikes and stuff, shows would approach me, can you build a bike for us for the show? Okay, whatever. So instead of me just building a bike and selling it, and then it's just another meaningless artifact to somebody else, I would put more passion and soul in it, knowing it was for my kid.
Amen.
Yeah, right.
And then knowing that this could potentially pay their college tuition. This could potentially buy a down payment on their house, a car, whatever they need. So when you put that mindset into it, a little extra effort goes in. Everybody's been in the fabrication phase of a motorcycle, and you're on the 120th day, and you've been grinding shit everywhere, and you just quit. Come on. But when it's for your kid, you focus just a little harder.
Yeah.
And you just want it to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that piece that you're talking about right there is the mid-build blues.
Yeah.
And man, that's
100%.
And
people go through it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Even builders like myself, Josh Allison, I'm sure he goes through it. Every builder I've ever talked to, they're like, man, yeah, I just cannot get this last 30% of fabrication done. It's just, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that thing, like, and it's usually when you're pretty close to the home stretch, and you'll have that one thing that just knocks you off your game.
Yep.
And it takes you, like, you literally have to walk away. And there have been times that, because I'm fortunate that I get to work in the shop with Chris, and I don't do a whole lot, but I do a whole lot. And sometimes it's literally just kicking him out of the shop. Like, okay, that's it. You're done.
I've missed birthdays. I've missed Christmases and stuff, because sometimes when you're in that groove, sorry, Mama, I'm in the zone, and I don't want to break it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's time I'll bring him, like, it'll be 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, okay, do you need coffee? Do you need water? Do you need a snack? No. Okay, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So what's actually really cool about my wife is when we got married, we bought a house. We actually moved out of my brother's basement. It was a weird idea. I don't know why he wouldn't let married people live in the basement with kids. That's weird. But we buy our house. I spend like the last $500 we have to our name on a lift from Harbor Freight. And at the time I had like an old Pathfinder, I think. And I literally strapped it to the roof of my Pathfinder, and I didn't even think the car was going to like make it. I thought it was going to cave in. And she would literally make every dinner and bring it out in the garage, and we'd sit there and eat it off the lift while I was doing a handlebar change, or I was trying to figure out how to weld, or try and figure out how this comes apart to go back together. And she'd sit in the corner and read her book or listen to the radio, and she'd be out there with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good woman you got, Drew.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
I tell people, if anybody ever suddenly hears of us getting divorced, understand it was my fault. I'm going on the record and saying 100% my fault. She deserves a day named after her. She gets a holiday. She is a saint.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And
go ahead.
I have to mention, like, I love how he embraces the women in his life. And I knew they were a very strong presence, especially his mother. She must have done a really good job. Enough so that I knew when I scheduled tonight's show that I said to him, make sure you tell your mom.
Yeah. She's watching right now too.
Hi, Mom.
She's at home.
Mom, you did a good job.
She still waits at doors for me to open them for her. Like,
good. As you should.
If we're going somewhere, she's old school, and I love that about her. You know, the old school way. She'd be like, you can drive. Then I'll drive her car, and I'll go get her door, and I'll walk her in. And like, I am the biggest mama's boy you will ever run across. I promise you.
You know, I
me
have
too.
to say that's not mama's boy. That's manners. And that is how a gentleman should act. So good on you for doing that.
So
good
the
on
other
you.
thing is a lot of like, it always irritates me that I'll be standing there and a guy will dig through his wife's purse.
Yeah.
And because of my mother growing up, you touched her purse, it was black eyes.
Yeah, right.
Like, she would come at you, thumbs up, and poke you in the eye, and you weren't touching her purse again. But still this day, I won't even get my wife's purse. I don't care if it's to get her keys. I'll go get her purse and bring it to her.
Yep.
That's what Chris does. And it's funny because there's like nothing in my purse.
Yeah.
But I'll be like,
That's
it's in my
yours.
purse.
It's
Can you go get it? And he will bring me my bag.
On
I
top
love
of the
that.
fact, those things are scary. You never know what's going to be in there.
No, my purse is boring. Like seriously, it's not a typical
half
girl
the time
purse.
it's like a stick of gum, a tampon, a wallet, and some car keys.
Right.
I don't want to touch any of it. Go, you dig through the desert in there and you figure it out.
Yeah. Funny thing, and you know how you feel, like you were saying about your mom, that reflected to your daughters. You know, I was the same way with my mother. She didn't like tattoos. She hated when I bought my first motorcycle. She didn't talk to me for a month. When I got my first tattoo, God, it was longer than that. Promised her I'd never.
She gets pissed every time I get it. I have a full bodysuit, and she still gets upset when I get a tattoo.
Yeah, but that
I created that skin. Well, I made it cooler.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that respect factor, obviously, you know, for what you gave her, because my mom's been gone 15 years, and still to this day. I do stuff and I think, man, if something goes wrong, what would my mother say? Because that was like one of my go-to lines. But my mother was also brutal. Everybody used to kid around with us about, you know, dude, you're an asshole. And like, you know, where'd you get that from your dad? No, my mom. My mom taught me how to be a badass. And
you're not shitting, boy.
Yeah, she could look at you from across the room and make you drop your freaking drink, you know?
So I got to tell this one story about my mom, because she a lot of people don't understand. When you call the shop on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you get her. And everybody calls her Mama Drew. She's a rock. She's my rock star. So she owned a car dealership, a big car dealership in the area. So she has a very savvy business mind, and I play that. I was no dum-dum when I asked her to come work here for me.
Yeah.
Okay, believe that. I knew I could bounce ideas off of her. She's been in these situations. I wasn't going with my feet, dry. And she's definitely pulled the shop out of the ringer a few times.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's so great that you have that support system.
Oh,
and, you know, like you said she's watching. My mom's watching too. And my mom is our 100% biggest fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hands down, she's our biggest fan. If you come to Smoke Out, Drew, my mother, who just had her 81st birthday, works our ticket booth for us.
I love it.
And
awesome.
she's also our harshest critic. If
Yeah.
we screw up,
100%.
she is
I
not
still-
going to
Dude,
hesitate
she'll
to tell
send
us.
while we're on the show. She will send Heather text message and say, "This guy's boring. Do something."
Yeah, right.
So so the story I was telling leads up to it. So I actually sponsored like a bunch of stunt riders, Junkyard Kenny stunts, all these stunt riders. I'd fix their bikes for free. They'd come down, they'd be doing burnouts and wheelies and whatever in front of the shop. It drives my mom mental. That stuff, like, just absolutely mental. Well, a customer came by and he's ripping wheelies and Indian Larrys and all the sliding around, and he gets off his bike. She literally grabs him by his helmet, spins him around, and starts kicking him in her ass. Now, my mom's like 5'1" on a good day, little Indian woman. And I'm looking at her going, oh, I go, Mom, I don't know him. She thought it was one of the stunt riders. She goes, I don't like this. Well, let that be a lesson to you. I went, so 20% off, that work, bud? If you're going to stay,
right.
You need a little bit more?
That's great. No, I there's so much that we couldn't do without Miss Judy. Even here, she was here visiting this week, and we threw this crazy trip we're doing at her while she's here, supposed to be like chilling with her daughter. And I put her to work in the office, and
she's making phone calls, man.
But I feel bad too at the same time, like, because she lives a lot further away than your mom. She lives in New Hampshire, so we don't get as much time with her. But she's taken every minute of it in with stride because she wants us to do well, and she wants us to succeed. And I'm so grateful for that.
And she enjoys that too. She's definitely not a woman that sits still and stares out a window. She's definitely a go-getter and an inspiration.
I suspect the same thing with your mom, Drew.
Yep.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
so
like
she's always kept us tight. like my brother, when we had the car dealership, my brother sold cars and I worked in the back. And I started detailing cars and wrecking their cars for them just because I could barely drive and I hit everything. But she always made sure we were working there and at something we were interested in.
Yeah.
So that's what I really do, because a lot of parents will try and get you to enjoy what they're interested in. Well, guess what, parents?
Push you.
Yeah. It's not what you want.
Yeah.
It's what your kids are interested in.
Yep.
Find what your kids want.
Absolutely.
I love that you said in your one show about showing up and getting thrown out of every single regional sporting event because you show up on a chopper and fight with the coaches, and I'm dude.
Oh yeah, I just give it the onions. I don't care. At halftime, I got kicked out of one regional game twice in the same 5 minutes.
Yeah, nice.
I'm like, I left the stadium. I'm standing behind the stadium, and I'm in the parking lot, a public parking lot. And he's like, "You got to go again." I'm like, "Who are you? Do you own the place?"
Yeah, my mom had trouble telling me what to do. Somebody else sure as hell wasn't doing it.
Yeah. Right. Come here, bud. Let me see if we can check your attitude, Mr. Referee. Anybody can yell at me from 100 yards away.
That's right.
Come say that gently, a little bit gentler to the face, bud.
Yeah.
So I know that you are self-taught in pretty much everything as far as motorcycling goes. Were you fortunate enough to have a mentor?
I did apprentice at a shop down the street called Pyrotech. And I did that just because I wanted to learn more of the fabrication side. And that's what always interested me, the fabrication side. I don't get me wrong, I love working on bikes and fixing them, but there's just something about building with your own hands that makes it so much cooler, to me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I would say Lee and Steve were a big part of it. It was a running joke that I have this crazy ability. If I can watch you out of the corner of my eye do something, I can pretty much remember how to do it on with, nuts and bolts type stuff. So they would say if I was at a spot in the apprenticeship where it was time, I was trying to get a little further and watch what Lee or Steve was doing instead of this stupid handlebar wiring job I was doing, they'd be like, "Oh, we're not showing you. Not showing you." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you're going to have it in 3 minutes and it's going to miss next week's teaching session." I'm like, "Oh."
Right.
So they messed up and they gave me a key to the shop so I could go in the evenings because I work midnights. So I'd go in the evenings. Well, they threw a gas tank away. Well, I sit there the week before and I watched Lee take a dent out of a tank with a hammer and mollies and just sitting there working it all out.
Yeah.
Well, this tank there said was scrapped and they threw this little sporty tank away. So I go in every night and they don't have an alarm. So they never knew I was there. And I cut the whole tunnel and everything out. And I'm working these mollies like I think I know what I'm doing, and I don't. And I somehow get this tank to come out just absolutely perfect. So I couldn't weld at the time. So I literally set the bottom back on it perfectly after it's all cleaned up. And I put it on their desk. And I came in the next morning with them. I'm like, "What tank is this? I haven't seen this tank. Did you order a tank?" And I fooled them, and it wasn't even welded together yet.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So you obviously were given some natural ability and a gift to be able to kind of run with it.
I think it's just pure, insanity is the gift of...
Well, I think you either have it or don't have it to an extent also.
I agree. I agree. You have to have the want.
Yes.
I'm a very artsy person. A lot of people don't know. I can draw... I'm not like this crazy good artist, but I can draw enough to get, beyond the stick people. And I think that comes with, I like doing stuff with my hands and creating. Mm-hmm. And the art side of it is what really draws me to the choppers.
Yeah. Yeah, I like knowing the people's inspirations because I think on the flip side of that, or they're the people that inspired them, because I don't know if I really ever had anybody inspire me. What inspired me was people telling me that you couldn't do that.
Oh, I love that. Go ahead. You're right. I can.
Give
me a YouTube video. I bet I can.
Yeah, I don't even need the YouTube. I mean, back in, I'm talking, 20 years ago, there wasn't YouTube videos. When people said, racing, and Chris's first chopper with that motor, one of the first bikes that we did.
Hey, listen, just so you know too, we didn't get to that yet, but I was reading about you with racing too. Like that's another thing. Mark was on a drag race team for a good long time. We always fucked around with that stuff, but
I love racing. That's one of my hidden secrets that a lot of people don't know. I love drag. I literally wait for everybody to go to sleep at night, and I will turn on drag racing just to go to sleep.
To watch it.
Just to hear the motors. I love street car racing more than like alcohol. I some about an old Camaro out in the middle of the road just getting after it. Really gets the blood pumping.
And that was me. Yeah. I mean, we'd go to the drag races, and I loved the top fuel bikes and this and that. Yeah. And we had Lernerville not far from us, so we always had a car. I had an old Mustang. I had which I still have, an Indy pace car Mustang that I used to take to the rally races. But we built a Sportster, a group of us, 25, 30 years ago, late 80s, early 90s. And it ended up being one of the fastest street Harleys in the world, street legal. And we loved going to see the big guys, but for us, the incentive was those street guys, baby, man. Yeah. I mean, I
don't know why. I don't know what's so. I think it's just because it's so outlawed.
You can touch it.
It's like, so street racing is like the chopper of drag racing.
Yep.
That's the only way I can put it.
One of my proudest things that I have is I have one of the original flash race, HDRA flash race pins. Nice. And we won 61 of 62 passes the first year in Sturgis, and that was like 90, 91. Like, anybody that says, I drag race, you have one of these, and that'll shut up anybody in a crowd. But I love it, that feel. Like you said, to see an old muscle car, to feel that power of a car you can get in and drive is totally different than a race car.
And then when you step on it and your ears are just blown to bits and ringing, amazing.
And you can't pull your head forward.
So check this shit out. Maybe you guys have done this, but I never got to sit in a front engine dragster until this weekend.
Yeah, not
right.
Me.
I have never.
Yeah, me neither.
So
I have never.
I never realized when you sit in a front engine dragster, your nuts are up against the rear end.
Yeah.
Like
you're in it.
You literally, your legs, and this was at Brian's house. It was his old man's front engine.
Yeah.
Your legs go up over the axles, and your balls are up against the rear end of that thing, man. And I'm just sitting there the whole time thinking, man, you snap a pinion shaft, or throw the drive shaft, and that rear end comes apart, you're done.
Oh yeah,
like it's chopping your legs off.
And imagine those engine straps, those blower straps. The reason they started putting them in, because them blowers used to come off and decapitate people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People don't realize that.
Oh, it was
how many
crazy.
of them drivers were torn apart.
It's beyond one of the most dangerous hobbies or sports out there.
Yep.
Every time you buckle that seatbelt, you have to make sure your life's in order.
Yes. Yep.
And I think that's the other part that I like that.
Oh yeah, that edge, that being on the
edge. Like you're towing the line every time, and I think that's why I liked MMA fighting. I think that's not only is it a sport one-on-one contact, but you could potentially get hit so hard you die.
That's it.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And I also like the fact that whose wheel's going to break, mine or yours.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Who's going to break first?
I'm pretty stubborn. So
now that we get to that point, and we've talked about how two of your daughters have fallen in your footsteps when it came to sports. Your youngest daughter, speaking of whose will's going to break first,
it's mine.
Yeah.
So I have his and her kids. I have two that look just like me. So I have my oldest daughter is with another woman, my first marriage, that was a fiery car crash, but that wasn't my daughter's fault. And I have two with my current wife. My two oldest and middle, me, look like me, everything. My middle one acts 1,000% like my wife, and the youngest one looks 1,000% like her and acts just like me. So it's a vicious combo.
Dude, it's so funny. I was watching the show where all four of the women in his life are sitting in a line, and he's just sitting in the middle, and you can see the look in his youngest daughter's eyes. I know this look.
Yeah.
I know this look because of my daughter. And every time I got to deal with my daughter, I will secretly go off and apologize to my wife for her having to deal with me, because that's how much she's like me. So like watching you with that show, I'm telling you guys, go and watch this episode.
That was probably my favorite episode. Like, so a lot of the fans they hear me talking to other guests that came on and say, you talk about your family. What's your family like? Because the only person that's really ever been on my social media channel is my youngest daughter, which we're getting to. So nobody's even seen my wife. I've had friends after they saw that podcast like, "You're married?" I'm like, 20 years strong. Well, 20 years. I think it was strong. It was probably on life support a few years, but hey, we're here, and 20 years later, yes, we're still married.
Yeah. That's amazing. Good for you.
Buddy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, good for her. She put up with me.
Yeah, she's probably a saint. I'm gonna guess.
She never messes up. She's too good.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Having people that can actually put up with what you and who you actually are, And again, that's where you're. Like you said, your true colors come out. That reflects in your children in the long run. Yeah. So it's going to come back at you.
Oh, so. And dude, that's what I was saying. Like, not to make it the whole show about your family and stuff, but, No,
I'm fine with it. I love my family. Yeah. That's great. I talk about them all day.
Dude, and I'll tell you, we seem to get such a great rapport of people in getting to know people with these shows, because I think what it does is all your talent, your cool bikes, your tattoos, your party at the pens, your this, your that, something, it all comes down to that family. People will gain more respect from you knowing how your children are, and talking about your exes
values.
And your
values, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
100%. So my daughter's senior year, my middle one playing sports, the games would be like 4 or 5 o'clock right after school. Well, the shop would still be open, and all of a sudden it'd be like half hour to game time. Well, gotta go.
Yeah.
And people are like, what do you mean? My kid's got a game. I don't give a shit about your motorcycle.
Yes, right.
Sorry. You want the God's honest truth. Your motorcycle's cool, and I'd love to finish it, but it ain't going to be today.
Yeah. It'll be maybe when I get back after I have dinner.
Oh, no, I ain't coming back, because after I'm there with the family, that's all I want to do is hang out with the family.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I spent enough years on the wrong side, doing the wrong stuff, and I wouldn't say the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Let's just, running amok, we'll say. And my wife, I come home 3, 4 in the morning, and she's like, good night.
Yeah.
Good night, I think. Are you going to kill me in my sleep? What's happening here, But she never got upset. She just let me be who I was. She understood she was marrying a wild card.
Yeah.
And she let me be the wild card.
Yeah, some people can't.
That's hard to find.
That's right. Some people can't catch that or grip the fact that you are who you are, and that no matter how many times they change, I'll never change. It's just me. Right. It's who I am. And again, when somebody needs something, just like it seems with you, you're there. It happens, and sometimes you have to take the good with the bad.
She's also learned not to bet against me.
Yeah.
Through everything, because I will try every angle, every whatever. So I've ran us into the poorhouse, like stupid poorhouse, like broke multiple times. Like where we had to if it cost us $1 to pee, we had to unbutton our collar to take a piss. That's how tight money was. And I said, you know what? I think I can do it. Okay, if you think so. Like she'd back it. She'd support every bit of it.
Yeah, sometimes you're strongest when you're at your lowest point. So
Hey, back me up against the wall. I'll get some good shit done. Trust me. I'll figure it out.
Shit. Oh my God. Shit's starting. There's bikes starting.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Starting a bike in the kitchen. I see.
Wrong button. Wrong. That's me. I still make mistakes.
But no, it's like because of her, I stayed with this.
Yeah.
There was times I was like, I gotta quit. I'm done. I'm hanging it up. Nobody likes my bikes. It's just a pity party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and she looked at me and go, well, when you're done being a bitch and you want to be the man I married, why don't you go back to work?
It's so good. Our daughter calls my wife a stone with a little bit of moss.
With a little bit.
Rock with a little bit of moss. But she practices that hard love too, man. Like she'll turn around and she'll kick you right in the pants.
Yep.
Like don't sit here and feel bad with yourself. Tell me what your answer is going to be. What's the
and the other thing is, like, my wife, obviously, she knows you can't. I'm not the delicate one. You have to be like, oh, maybe it'll get better.
Yeah.
If you keep doing the same thing and drive it in the ground harder, maybe it'll turn out. No, she'll tell me, we'll do something different, dumbass.
Yeah. Try another approach.
Crystal,
got it. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Crystal, like, it's hard. I mean, doing everything that we do, and with the
motorcycle game in general.
Motorcycle game in general is hard. And like, just like you, Chris will get in those things where he'll be like, man, why do I even do this anymore? I'm done.
Fuck it.
And he'll be like, I'm burnt. That's it. I'm burning it to the ground. I look at him. I said, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
And then what?
And
then he's like,
exactly.
I'm like, go ahead. If that's what you want, go ahead.
The funny part about that whole story is we already have the last magazine all figured out.
Oh yeah.
So
you're right.
Just saying. So
we got the bullet loaded if we need it.
Right.
Yeah, that last magazine is going to be editorial from front to back. There ain't going to be a fucking ad in the whole thing.
Dude, we've talked about that magazine for 26 of the 30 years, I think. Yeah, it's always been
it's
an
gonna
ongoing
go out
joke.
with a banger.
Oh, dude.
On fire.
And funny, it's like, you don't want to say I'm taking everybody down with me, but one thing, and again, we just like right back, because I just thought as Heather was saying that that is, I think, sometimes what makes this show, and not like Pat and Chris or anybody here on the back, so cool, is because we'll come on, oh, your bike, this guy, he does this. You know what we just did? We just did a whole circle of actually who you are. Screw that bike. We just found out who you are, and that's going to make more people go, dude, that fucker's cool. I'm going to go check his shit out.
The people that know him
when
they're saying it.
The amount of messages I get from people saying that I inspired them and turned their life around to find God, to start working on their own bike and trying it. And since I answer, literally, I have messages from people in Italy asking me how to fix their bike, UK, Germany. I'm like, well, you guys need hobbies. Like, you're just the fact you're sitting there watching me all the time, and I inspired you. You guys need new friends.
Yeah, dude, and isn't it super weird? I have that problem too. The first time somebody came up to me, I wasn't the first one that sat here with the Shop Talk thing. I came onto it, but the first guy that came up to me and started like approaching me for, to say, hey, dude, I really dig the show. I thought he was hitting on me, and it totally freaked me out. And I'm like, dude, don't you have something else to do? And you know something? I think you had said it before, that some people don't have the ability to make that jump and that twist to do like what you said and we said we've done before, and they live that through you, and you get the inspiration, and that's super cool.
It is.
It is. You almost, thank God you don't have an ego, or a lot of us have an ego. Some people do, and that causes a problem, but that even makes them feel even more they have a chance of being able to do this the way they want to do it.
And you know what, man, it's good. Like you saying that, Mark, like honestly, it comes down sometimes to, motorcycles is kind of the euphemism for a lot of other things that go on in life. And
100%.
Even what we're talking about here with family and everything else like that, passing those values down and giving people confidence and direction and drive, and you know what I mean? Like that's what's happening under the surface. And even when somebody comes up to you and they tell you how much they respect something you do, that you inspired them, they're taking that on into other parts of their life.
Right.
100%. And then the hardest part is the first couple times I'm like, man, I don't want to say anything out of pocket to give them this weird, like, oh, this guy was just full of shit. No, I did it. I'm not full of shit. I just don't know what to say because I'm shocked you're saying it to me, because who the hell am I?
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, one of my biggest issues is, please don't, I'm the most scatterbrained person on the planet. And like you had said before, I watch it once or twice. And my dad used to tell me I'd tear motors apart and I'd get all done and there would be freaking parts and bolts everywhere. And he'd be like, how in the fuck are you going to put that back together? And then they come in the next morning, because I'm there till 5 in the morning, and it's out in the parking lot running, and he'd just shake his head. He used to tell me and Chris all the time, you two are complete morons. Constantly, you're complete morons.
Dude.
But never stopped us. You know, just like Heather's mom, just like Judy. She will tell you you're doing something wrong, but she'll never tell you not to do it.
Right.
Yeah, you know, like
She'll
the
be like,
biggest
hey,
fans.
why don't you try this?
Yep. The more, I can't count the times that my father and my buddy, his buddy Ernie, sat in that office with Chris and boost talked him to getting up and going and doing it again. And there was hundreds of times. You know,
that's a great thing, man. It's a great thing that you have the ability with what your story is to pass that on to other people and give them confidence and give them, you know,
inspiration.
Share a little bit of your resilience.
But so get back on my youngest daughter, where we were going. Like I know we're heading to. She is a special one. She has the worst form of dyslexia you can get. So when I'm talking actually there's like 2 forms of dyslexia. She's got them both. And there's a third form they're trying to diagnose, but haven't yet put it in the realm. She has that too. So she's like 1 in 22 million people have this.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard for her. So as a parent, I said, okay, obviously we know reading, writing, math is not going to be your strong suit. You know, let's face the facts easy. Let's find something that this kid can do and get behind. So she got sent for punishment with me one Saturday to the shop, and I was just like, hey, throw this hood on. Watch me weld. Hooked.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
She was probably 8 or 9 years old. Now she's in welding class in high school. She's going to be a welder. She's already going to underwater welding school.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So and that's what's so cool about it. As gifted as my other 2 kids are athletically and, you know, academically, she is that same way welding and fabricating.
Dude, that's weird. That's my 2 sisters and me. I always used to question if they brought the wrong kid home from the hospital, because I have 2 absolutely brilliant sisters, and then me, I have to read something 400 times and I still don't get it. You know, the cool thing is we're going to have to get you on the show and talk motorcycles. You know, that'd be so.
Hey, and listen, like when it comes to that department too, dude, like he does some really cool stuff.
Yeah,
like,
he does a lot of informational stuff.
The one thing that I was really digging on is we've talked about doing a show kind of like this, and I love this. I love it. But they did a whole show on what is the best chopper motor. What is the best motor?
Me and Chopper Tom.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of people want to go exotic. They want to go old, but like I totally agree with what the summation of this was, man. Like you cannot beat the Evo motor,
no
hands
questions
down.
asked. Yeah.
You know,
if you want to ride it.
Yeah. If you want it to be fun, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, if you want to be able to get on it.
Obviously, if they scroll through the comments, they can read the haters that just wanted to see their name pop up.
Yeah.
And you know, why didn't you talk about a Sportster? Get off my page.
Yeah. You know, and the funny part about it is those are half those dudes are the guys that don't have a clue about motorcycles.
No, and here's the thing is, I have made it publicly known. I love a Sportster.
Me too.
I'm just not riding one.
Yeah.
You know, they're so versatile to build into anything.
Yep.
You know, the platforms are endless. But at the same time, we're talking big twins, boys. Yeah. Put your big pants on, buy an actual big boy motorcycle, and let's build a big boy toy.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Totally agree.
And then they said, well, the Ironhead's more reliable.
The Ironhead's what?
No. Yeah.
What?
The Ironhead's what?
I don't think
I've
so.
never heard somebody say the word Ironhead and reliable in the same sentence in my life.
If you're looking for an anchor for your boat,
it's great. Okay, cool. Blow it up and then tell me how reliable it is.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right? Oh my God!
I mean, don't get me
I
wrong.
have an Ironhead
Respect.
that's like the Exxon Valdez. It makes its own.
Yeah.
oil.
No shit, dude. We had an Ironhead that we emptied the thing out.
Emptied it.
And for years later, it's still every time you moved it and parked it, it left a puddle of oil.
And we're like, there's no oil in it. How is that even possible?
Totally blows me away.
It just keeps giving.
Oh,
I love that.
God.
But you know, that's the cool thing is obviously we've talked about my family a ton, but for people to understand, when I build a bike, that's who's behind me.
That's it.
That's who's giving me the inspiration, the drive,
that's right.
the
The grace, yeah.
I still, to this day, I could build a bike for a customer, and I won't show the customer till I show my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Right on.
Right on.
You know, she's got to stamp every bike before it goes out.
Yep.
You know,
That's
and if
awesome.
she doesn't, I'm like, well, sorry, bud. If she's not going to be here again until Tuesday, so it looks like you might get it Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that's, you know, for while we're on the subject of motorcycling, I mean, dude has no shortage of credits. You know, you've been one of the People Champ builders. You've been featured at Cycle Showcase. Obviously, you were featured at Party of the Pen. You know, and if
Mama tried 4 years in a row.
Mama tried. You go to his page, man, and check out some of these motorcycles. Like he has got that old school cool for sure.
And the newest build, we can't talk about what I built it for, but I can tell you, you'll be able to watch it pretty soon and watch me build it and whoop up on the competition.
Oh, yeah.
I know the story.
Yep.
Haha, I know something you don't know.
Yeah, it's a good one. So here's what we'll have to do after it airs. You'll have to do a sequel to this one, and I'll come back on and tell you behind the scenes of it.
No, absolutely. Please do that.
Super
Please,
cool.
that would be great, man.
Because it was a 10 days of fury. So the gold bike that you see that was at Party of the Pin and all that, that was built in 7 days.
Wow.
The whole bike is rattle can Rust-Oleum spray paint.
Yeah, we've done quite a few of those. How fast can you build this bike and paint it things ourselves? That's definitely a special art. You know, the cool part about it is you're going to come back and let's hurry up and get the conversation about this bike out of the way, because we're getting right back into the conversation we're having right now. It's just too it's too easy, you know. It's real. To me, this is real.
So, and that's what I pride myself. Everybody, that's one thing people come up. I just want to meet you, see if you're really this real in person.
Yep.
Yeah, bud.
Yep. This is it.
I'm an open book. Like, let my fuck ups deter you from trying it.
Yeah, exactly. Or point you in another direction so you don't go through the pain I just went through.
So I think the biggest question I ask is people ask me, "Hey, I'm opening a shop. Any advice?" Don't.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah, go get a job somewhere.
No,
because it's
hard.
I
It's
said
a
this on
hustle.
one of my podcasts before, and I caught 9 ways of hell about it until I finally. I said, "Look, guys, what you don't understand is I'm not complaining about the work.
Right.
I'm complaining about the people that bring me the work."
Yes.
Difference.
Very much so.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Listen, just to let you know, the magazine started in the back of an aftermarket motorcycle shop, and like we used to put shit in the magazine all the time, like, you know, every stupid phone call you get, you know, well, can I just hold the phone up to the motorcycle? Can you listen to this for me?
Yeah.
You know how many of those videos I get on?
Oh yeah, I can
Instagram?
imagine now.
And here's the thing is, me being the nerd of a motorcycle guy I am, I have my phone all the way up. A lot of people don't know I am very hard of hearing. Like, I'm supposed to wear hearing aids most of the time, and I'll go in the bedroom, put my hearing aids in just so I could hear it better to try and tell them what's going on with their bike.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, this has been awesome though, dude. I really appreciate it, and like you said, absolutely, we will have you back on anytime you want to come on.
I love it.
Whatever you got, because the conversation is great.
I want to meet your mom.
Yeah, right.
Me too.
Right, yeah.
Huh?
Me too. I want to meet her.
Somebody had mentioned, you know, we ought to do a show about wives.
Yes.
And that would be really cool, because a lot of times you actually meet the real person when their wife or their mother or their kids are actually sitting in the room. So that would be
and
super
here's the
awesome.
best part is, so my wife is, if she was sitting right here, she probably wouldn't even say a word anyway, because that's just who she is. She's like, I'm a behind the scenes person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, with an ass like that, you should show it off. You should be in front of the scenes, you know. And she just looks at me, rolls her eyes, and get out of here, beat it, nerd, you know. But she is like super. She wants none of the hype. That's why you don't ever see her on my social media. So I think she's on one picture on my social media in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was like in the Kansas City show that we put on. And then when she came on the podcast, she's like, "Are you serious? Can't you just put a doll of me or something?"
Yeah.
I'm like, not the same, because people always think there's no way you're this or that. You know, you'd say that in front of your wife. I go,
Yeah,
"You want
right.
to FaceTime her?"
Yeah.
Right.
She'd be like, "Oh, he did that again? Oh, okay, yeah."
And I think the different side of that is the fact that if she was sitting and she was there with you, if we make it easy, you know what I mean? We make the question, should get her to feel comfortable, and it would be fun because we've had a lot of people on here like, dude, this isn't my thing. This is not, when this first started for me, this was not my thing at all. They were worried about leaving the microphone on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think if she came on with me and said, as long as I was here.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It would be nice to have both of you, to have some of these people.
She'd totally do it.
Yeah.
But she'd be like, "You're answering most of the questions."
Oh, look at that. Great job, guys. Love Mama Drew.
Oh,
how
right
about
on.
that? That's so cool.
Oh,
see,
hey, I told you she's listening.
That is winning right there for us,
Yep,
buddy.
absolutely.
And again, being jealous because that was my mom and she hasn't been around for years.
Yep.
But dude, that is so strong. I actually found out here recently that I had a sister I didn't even know about. That's a full blood sister, and today went out of my way to go make sure that I got to see her for 5 minutes. She came up.
Oh my gosh.
She came up today, and that family thing is. Dude, all that fallback, your brother and your mom and your wife and your kids. Like I said, I never got to see my daughter, but that was something that really meant. I wanted 4 girls. That was what I wanted when I was getting married. And
I never wanted a kid.
Yeah, I did.
I was still kids. A kid.
Yeah,
I mean, I had my first kid when I was a senior in high school.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I remember hearing that.
Experience.
Yeah.
So my middle kid's in college right now at Illinois State. And she'll call, "Oh, we went to a frat party." What's that like? What do you mean? I never got to go.
Yeah.
Oh, so we'd go for parent weekend. "Hey, where's the frat party?" "Dad, you can't go." "Well, why the fuck not?"
Yeah. I want to go.
I want to check out a frat party.
Yeah.
So I promise you, before I leave this earth, I'm frat partying.
Yeah, right.
Even if I got to create my own frat and have my own whatever, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I've never been to a frat party. We played in a band that played a few frat parties, so I sort of think maybe I was at a few.
Okay, Nicky Lot, that was a frat party.
That's a whole different story.
That was rolling in.
You've been to a frat party. God, you haven't missed anything.
For F's sake, you brought that up. Now I feel guilty.
Oh.
There's one thing I want to talk about before we let you go, man. I know we've had you here for a good long time, but
all good.
I want to talk about the work that you do with women, because I love the empowering women role that you take in a lot of this too, and the way that you do it, because it's not chicken shit. It's a real thing that you do.
No, 100%. So I've said this on many of my podcasts. Not only do you teach your children teach you.
Yep.
Because obviously they didn't hand you a kid in a manual and said, when they fall on their face, this is what you're going to say to them, or whatever it is. So I was a lot rougher around the edges. You got to remember, when my kids were growing up, I was beating the streets in St. Louis, running with the wrong people. I was in gangs. I was not in the best dad state of mind. And as they got older, I saw this change coming to where more people were telling women they're not equal. I'm like, well, why are they not equal? Because they sit down to pee? Shit, I wish I had that luxury.
Yeah.
And it just baffles me. And between the sexism, or the feminism rather, and the racism, I'm like, when my mom was delivering me, I didn't check the box. I want to be white, privileged,
right?
Bald,
most definitely.
Tattooed. I missed that checklist, and I feel like nobody else got to see it if I didn't see it. So why are we judging everybody on this basis?
Amen.
Because we're all the same. God created every man equal, so why don't we act like it?
Yes.
So the one thing I do for the shop is I do a female apprenticeship for women that want to build their own chopper. So what that entails is, and I sit down with them beforehand. I help Sassy build hers. I'm right now I'm on the second one with Meg the barber. Me and Meg, me and her ex-husband used to be in the gang together, and she said, "I want you to build me a bike." I said, "How about you build your bike and you come here and start from the bottom and figure it out?"
Yeah.
And it'll be done this year. We're probably getting ready to go to paint in a couple weeks. But so they have to be able to, one, afford pay for the donor bike or
parts.
whatever we're building. I'm not paying for it. I have enough bills. They have to, so for every 3 days they put in the shop, they get 1 day of my time directly on their bike with them, teaching them about the bike. And
That's so
I cut them
badass.
a super cut rate, a 50% labor rate per hour. And half the time, let's be honest, I don't keep track of the time, so
You
they get a
almost
bigger break than anything they'd ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
But I teach them how to weld. I teach them every electrical component. I teach them every part of that bike. So when they're riding that bike and something happens, which I promise you it will,
Yep.
you kind of have an idea how to fix it, how to do it, where about to go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love
And
that.
it's because of my youngest daughter with her dyslexia. I saw the struggle she was having to fit in.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's when I had this like aha moment, and I'm like, I wonder how many women want to build choppers.
Yeah.
Because you don't see a lot of women in the chopper scene, and I think it's more because the pig-headed males try and hold them back.
Yeah,
You're telling me a female doesn't have just a creative eye as a male? Bullshit.
Yep.
Dude, when it comes to things like welding, hands down,
body
a
work,
woman will get
finish
that
work.
faster.
Yeah.
They'll do it better 9 times out of 10.
So my youngest daughter, they go, for high schools will go compete in this welding competition or whatever it is, the trade schools, and they always send her up here, little 5'1", not even 87 pounds, long fingernails, blonde hair, big lashes, and she whoops their ass.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just says, come back when you want to try again, boys. You're not it. This ain't it.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, every time that we bring up like a woman rider or a woman show, woman this, like, I'm not going to say I don't like that because I love the enthusiasm that it is, but I hate the fact that they segregate those two. To me, there's nothing that they can't do. I had said before, I grew up with an extremely powerful mother. I have 2 of the most powerful women in my sisters in my life. Like, all the women in my life are well over, and I can always lean on them. And to me, again, for the shit that Heather's put up with over the years, for the shit that Dana's put up with over, how they still dealt with us, again, and yet respected us the next day, which, sometimes I question.
Sometimes that's questionable.
Yeah, sometimes I question that. But
the point in my house, I have my youngest daughter, who's a wild card. My middle daughter is bisexual. My oldest daughter loves mixed guys, which whatever, I don't care.
Yep.
So I have the biggest diversity in my house, and I love when people call me racist. I'm like,
what?
Yeah,
Excuse me?
right.
Wait a minute. Hang
idea.
on. Hold on. Hang on, y'all. It's funny. My mother and I had this conversation the other day. I grew up in Massachusetts, very small town, Massachusetts, and a very, very, very white community. I mean, just plainly, there was no minorities where I grew up. I think in my entire 12 years in school, we had one minority in the school, and he was the most popular kid, obviously.
Yeah.
But we weren't raised, like, it just wasn't a thing. We weren't raised to see color. You were raised to see the person.
That's it.
Right.
So
and that's 100% right.
And it always struck me, and even the whole woman thing, like, I don't want to be known as a female motorcycle magazine publisher. I just want to be a magazine publisher.
Right.
And I get that. There's a lot of female builders I've talked to, and they're like, I don't want to go to a female only show.
Yeah.
I go,
Amen.
why?
Yep.
Because I want to hear their side. I'm not asking like, why don't you?
Right.
I want to know why you don't.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
like, well, do you want to go to an all male? I go, no, they're all male.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And not that I don't think there's a place for women-centric events. However, I just don't believe in dividing because each side has something to teach the other.
No,
I
wholeheartedly agree with you. But my point I made to her name's Lily. She owns a shop in California. I said, Lily, I'm going to say this with the utmost respect. It's got to start somewhere, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to do 3 all-women shows to get the build of a woman chopper builder up to where it doesn't matter, then that's what somebody has to set the tone.
Yep. Yeah, I think if they just do an all-woman show, they're limiting themselves.
Yes.
They're pushing themselves
but
into
you know
a
what?
corner.
I understand both parts of that, especially like coming up the way that I did. Like I knew some strong women that like dated big club guys and stuff, and like when their old man would pass away, like their motorcycle life didn't end.
Yes.
So they would keep riding, and the shit that guys put them through was horrible. And like to be a rider on their own, women really had to have balls.
But it's 2026 now.
I know.
That is gone. I mean, I hate to break the news to everybody.
But the thing that I'm saying about that is, when you see some of the stuff that goes on now, like it just
it's sad.
You want to see that, where does it start, and and get somebody coming up, but you don't want it to be just about special credit.
No, not at all.
And I can honestly say this: the first time a female bike I helped with was at Mama Tried, which is, let's just be honest, that's a huge stage for a builder.
Yeah.
Yes,
like there's a lot of builders that don't get to that, and because they've put such a tall task to get there, like that bike has to be top level to be considered. And the first time I walked in, I was like, I'm on the right path. That's it. This is it. That for me was confirmation I was doing I was on the right path that somebody should have been doing this whole time.
Yeah, that's and sad part about it is that conversation can go in so many different directions on that level. But to segregate yourself doesn't make sense. To feel like you're, racist wise. Again, Heather, I was the other spectrum. I grew up in the hood, like literally the hood in Pittsburgh. I was one of the only white kids in the whole neighborhood, so I didn't see anything but black growing up. And guess what? I never had an issue.
Right.
Once I learned how to throw back a punch or stand up for myself. I never saw color. You could say it every different way. Yeah. If you're racist, that means you're hiding something. That means you're scared.
100%.
I
have a problem with like an open book life, and I don't know. I've always been that way. It's too honest to a fault, and I will tell people to keep them from making a mistake. And if it's makes me look like a bad person, okay, I was a bad person. I'll take that hit.
Yeah.
But if it keeps you from going down that road, I'm for that too. At least if I can save one person a headache, then that story was worth it.
Yep.
No, and that's me. I live my life like that too, man. That's the B Rabbit philosophy, right?
Right.
What are you gonna tell these people about me?
Yep.
Tell them here. I'll tell them for you.
I'll tell you for. Yep.
You're never gonna do anything to me I haven't done to myself. I promise you.
That's it.
Amen.
Steve Broyles is on here, man. You got a lot of comments. You have to go back and see some of this stuff. But Steve Broyles coming in with, my mother taught me how to weld when I was 12. She welded Navy ships in the shipyards in Boston, Mass. during World War II.
That's so cool.
Yes.
That's wild.
Talk about a strong woman right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is wild. I mean, these comments are crazy. And they still like, I read them. I'm like, there's no way they're watching the same stuff I'm talking.
Right.
Because I think it's just because I lived the life, and I escaped it barely.
Yeah.
And I've never been in a situation. I've been standing in a garage with 12 of the biggest dudes, drug dealer, gangbangers with pistols about ready to come at me. And I'm like, well, shit.
There's only one way out.
This is where we're going to get wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the ability that I didn't flinch
Yep.
is how I walked away.
Yeah, holding your ground.
Well, you didn't
I was
flinch.
just like, well, if we're going to do it,
let's
let's do it. What are we talking about?
Yeah, you didn't flinch, and you knew you weren't going to go down without a fight. Like, you just have to
and
stand up for yourself.
I told him simply, look, it's going to take all 12 of you to kick my ass, I promise you.
Yeah.
But one's going to the hospital with me.
Yeah, I'm not going alone.
Yeah, well, you're going to know I'm here.
And like the cool part about it, like Chris said, the comments, like a lot of this conversation leads to motorcycling, but hasn't been about motorcycling. And the comments and returns are huge. It's like so awesome that these people feel every bit of this. And that's, like some of these people
and what
are
have we
family
been
to
talking
us.
about? Like in the beginning of the show, we talked about the America 250 thing that we're getting ready to do.
Man, so are you doing that with? Are you doing that? Is that the Route 66 deal?
No, this is just me and Heather.
Okay,
are doing this on our own just to Just to do that, just to hold up a flag and say, hey man, listen, remember motorcycling, that we all came here to get away from the bullshit and put all that stuff behind us right now. You know what I mean?
100%. I tell a lot of young riders, like, here's this. You like it right now because it's new. And you only like it because you're bar hopping. And it's a way for you and your buddies. All you did was you traded your 10-year-old bicycle, your 10-year-old version of you, for your 20-year-old version of you, and now you put a motor on.
Yep.
And you're going to bars. I said, there is something that changes at mile 90 in a trip.
Yeah.
Like a philosophy in your head as you just become in tune with this machine, and you're just busting miles, and just there's something that just changes your demeanor.
And getting them to figure that out, that mile 90 doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with the beer or the drink you had.
Yep.
You got to get to that point. Me and Ronnie just had this conversation the other day at work.
This is something that I always say about it, man, is like the first 100 miles.
Yep.
Right? First 100 miles, you're still thinking about, did I close the garage door? Did I do this? Did I do that? What, what the last things that I said to the people in my house when I was leaving. The next 500 miles, you start thinking about
everything.
Things I did last week, things I said, things I left unsaid between friends last year, and then the next 1,000 miles, you start your thought gets even more pure, and you start thinking about
where you're going.
What you were doing years ago, and conversations that you had, and it becomes a really pure thing.
I think if somebody wants to cure cancer, they need to take a 1-year trip on a motorcycle and ride it every day, and the clear cure will come.
Yeah.
Clearly it's going to be somebody smarter than me, but it's just you stop thinking, you stop overthinking.
Yep.
And it's just so free. Like your mind is literally set free. And I tell people, you want to take a trip and not have an issue and take a new bike.
Yep.
If you want to feel the soul of the earth and the passion of this motorcycle community, do it on a vintage bike.
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. Oh,
Most
absolutely.
definitely.
Because
Absolutely.
so that's what I love about. I always give the new bike new bike riders the new bike shit. I love the new bikes. I'm not a hater. I just, it's the only thing I got left to make fun of them about. If the bike's cool, it's cool. I don't care what it is.
Right.
But it doesn't have a soul.
Oh, amen.
My 49 Panhead. That motor just, I'm putting it together going, I wonder what this thing could tell me stories.
Oh my God!
Yes.
I know you
that
speaking my
49
language,
Yes.
dude.
It traveled with the guy in the military, so it's been all overseas. It's been to Switzerland. I'm like, man, how many stories could this tell me? How many bar fights has this thing seen? How many times has it broke down on the road?
Yeah. Figured out how it was going to get
cool.
the hell out of there.
You're
right.
speaking my language.
Yep.
This is, and it's something like even conversely, I tell guys like I bust Teach's balls all the time, and my boy Roadside Marty, and I'll tell these guys, I'm like, listen, man, I respect what you guys are doing. You're resurrecting these motorcycles. I said, but if you think that guy that bought that, 52 Panhead, went into the dealership looking for the rusty old piece of shit. He wanted the shiniest motorcycle he could get. And then he lived with that motorcycle for the next 50 years.
Right.
And that's what did that. That's what did that. That soul that you're talking about. He built that soul with that motorcycle over those years.
I feel
So
that
I got to tell one
everything.
story about Teach, because it's my favorite story of Teach. Teach, first time I ever met him, my best friend, Bobby Goodtimes, just finished the Blow Dozer. It's a knucklehead survivor. And I went up to time it for him. He doesn't work on motors. He pulls no punches. He's not a motor guy. So I went up, timed the motor, get it dialed in. But I don't work with magnetos every day. So sometimes it could be like 6 months from touching one. Yeah. And I had it a 2-kick bike. And he's like, that's just not good enough. I'm like, fuck, it's the show's tomorrow. It's gonna be good enough.
Yeah.
It's running. He goes, no, we're on our way to full tilt. He goes, oh, we're gonna stop by Teach's house. I'm like, I don't know who Teach is and what his house got to do with it, but whatever. And so he goes, walk me through your process. And I said, why? He goes, I am the Magneto Gremlin. And I'm like, what? And he pulls his pant leg up and he's got it tattooed on him. I go, I mean, he got it tattooed on. It must be true. And so I'm walking through my process day. He goes, stop right there. There's where you messed up. And I will never forget that as long as I live. And I sent you a picture of it's me, Teach, and Bobby Goodtime standing over the knuckle. My good friend. Yeah. It's literally right after the bike fired for the first time at one kick, and they just literally ripped it up and down the street after I just rebuilt this motor. And my throat's hurts in my throat because I'm like, they're gonna blow it up. I mean, they're like, whoa. I'm like, oh, you know, 3 break-in seconds is what they gave it.
Yeah.
And it was just the pure joy on all 3 of our faces, like we were 10-year-old kids, just because our toy was working again.
Yep.
That to me is what motorcycles is all about. Your friends in your garage bringing this old iron back to life.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. We could go on with this for a long time. I definitely want to have you back. I would love it if your wife would come on with you, and we can talk some more.
We can have a few other wives on too, just to kind of make it.
Oh, hey, watch this, Peter. You're coming on.
So, dude, that's another thing we didn't even get to talk about.
Yeah.
He gave them all nicknames.
Oh my God.
So my wife from our first date was Peter. And the reason why, everybody's like, oh, what's this story? She's got a cute nickname. Peter, what? I go, yeah. I was hammered when I gave it to her, of course. You know, back then, that's before I got sober, clearly. And we'd go into a bar and go, hey, anybody seen my Peter? Oh, there she is. Found it. You know? So she just became Peter. And then the oldest one is Drama, because that was my first daughter, and the amount of drama that I realized with girls, it was just a fitting nickname for her. My middle one is the Brainiac Brainbuster, and so her middle name was Marie, so I changed it to Milton, because that's just the egghead nerdy.
Yeah,
I'm like, you look like a Milton. You like, if I pictured a Milton, it'd be somebody sitting in the library reading a book. Beat it, nerd. You know. And my youngest one, her middle name is Lee, so she inherited Leroy Slice because she's got my personality. She's a fighter. She's a gamer. You know, she's not gonna back down at 100 pounds. She's gonna give you that 100 pounds. You know, so they all earn the nicknames, but even in my phone, it's not by their real name.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's funny.
It's awesome. Yeah, we definitely want to have you on, man. It's been a great night of conversation, and I appreciate you being here.
Oh, I love it. I am very thankful for the opportunity to just come out and continue to tell my story. I think the more it gets out there, I think it shocks people into realizing, like, these builders you look up to, they're not perfect. Here's the thing: is we all have decorative pasts. And if we can start over, you can start over.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And same thing is, I recently started my journey with God, and I just found God. I tried everything else, and I go by myself. My wife doesn't go with me. My kids will go with me sometimes, but because of my kids, they started going without any of us. And I'm like, oh shit! Wait, what's this about? Let me try this. You know, if they're into it, I want to check it out and see what they're into. And then, I usher at my church on Sundays. I go every Sunday I'm in town. I'm there. I'm a fixture in the church. And since it's happened, the Lord has blessed me with a lot of upside. And I had enough downside for my whole life that it's kind of weird, but like, this is how the other half live. I'll be cattle kicked.
Right.
Yep.
Huh.
Oh,
Neat.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
So I think more people need to understand is, like, I just had a conversation with a guy yesterday, and it's funny. At Party of the Pin, I guess he came up to me, and when I get talking about motorcycles, I get super excited, super ADD, and I just can't talk fast enough because I have so much to say. And he thought I was saying it fast because I was annoying him, or he was annoying me, and I didn't want to talk to him. That was not the case. And then he's telling me how he was that spiraling, and he goes, "You believe in God?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And that's where I left it, because I wanted to see what his response was. You know, because I don't push my beliefs on anybody, and I don't, your beliefs are your beliefs. He goes, well, I've been having a bad run, and I was going to blame it on God. I said, don't do that.
Yeah.
I said, here's what happened. I said, he showed you options. You chose the wrong one.
That's it.
You are trying to blame people instead of be accountable. I'll hold you accountable. Do something different.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy. You know, one of the most important lessons me and Heather keep going back to is the devil doesn't have to beat you. He
just needs to distract you.
Yeah, that's it. You just got to get you
That's
for a
right.
second.
That's right.
You'll beat yourself all day long.
But, you know, and then on the other side, you also can't push yourself down. You got to give yourself the credit to get back up and do it again. And
you know, it's not about getting knocked down. We've all been knocked down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've been kicked, punched, you know, down. And it's the ability to pick yourself up,
move on,
dust yourself off, and go, all right.
That's right.
We need another approach.
Yep.
You know, and that's the thing is, so a lot of people don't realize, and I know I'm off base, and the first 3 years of my shop, I struggled so bad. I had to move buildings every year.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford rent, and I couldn't do this. And I told my wife, I bought this building we're in now, and I said, this is it. Last run of it.
Yep.
She's like, what do you mean? I said, we're going to go for broke.
Yeah.
And, well, I guess the 4th swing or 12th swing was a charm, I guess.
Well, Drew, I'll tell you what, like I said, man, we sure do appreciate you being here tonight, and we'll get with you, and maybe you can get us the schedule when that episode is going to come out.
Yeah, I will. I got your number. I'll text you when it's coming out. It's I can kind of, so people know what we're talking about. It's going to be on Discovery again.
Oh my!
If that helps anybody remember what it was, and it used to play on Monday nights right before Gas Monkey Garage. So, just saying.
Yeah, not hating, just saying.
There you go.
Right on.
Well, this was fun.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. I had a blast. It was a good end to one hell of a day of people. So the Send-It, it's a friend of mine, Alicia Norrie. She puts on Send-It Sundays. They and I love what she's doing. And here's why.
We love
because
Alicia
she's getting
too.
a group of non-riding people together to ride all day together.
Yeah.
And it's not just bar hop. They're going hundreds of miles like what these bikes are meant for. Well, she asked if I would be a stop for people to come and see what a cool old like chopper shop looks like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it was the biggest ride they've ever had.
Cool.
That's awesome. Good for you.
I had 60 to 80 motorcycles pull up in front of this little piece of shit shop, and I was blown away.
Yeah, that's cool. Had to feel good.
Oh, I was like, because, you know, as a person, I'm like, nobody's going to show up to this.
Yeah.
This is, and then when I saw him coming down the ramp, I'm like, that's a lot of motorcycles.
Uh-oh. I'm going to need more
I don't know
water.
where we're putting all these motorcycles.
Good for
But
you.
then to take a ride with them, and I had Leroy was on the back of the bike with me filming because my social media guy had to work at church. So she came and she filled in. And like there was a time I was at the back. I slowed down to get to the back of the pack. That took about like 5 minutes. And when I was like flying back up to the front, I was honestly worried I was going to blow my old pan up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this line is forever. I don't want to be at 90 this long on this bike.
Good for you, though. That's good for you. And
Yeah.
give Alicia our best. She's
Oh, yeah.
she's
She's one of my
phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
Well.
All right, man. Well, listen, we're going to cut you loose, but
All right, guys.
again, thank you so much for coming on with us and give our best to your whole family. I feel like I know them after watching some of
Right.
that stuff.
Hey, a stranger's just a person you haven't met yet.
That's right.
Amen.
Right on.
Thank you so much, Drew.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll get her on board, and I'll let her sit right next to me, and she can validate all these stories and laugh with us.
Right on,
Well,
man.
looking
Thank
forward
you.
to it.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
See
Take
you,
care.
Drew.
All right, hey everybody, you're watching Shop Talk here on the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio Network. We got some stuff left that we got to get to.
Oh
Don't
my
go
goodness.
anywhere.
There's more? But wait,
Yeah,
there's more.
We're gonna look at a product. We're gonna actually start off by watching Nate got to ride the new Pan American.
Ooh, yeah.
We're gonna watch that real quick. We're gonna watch a product. We're gonna come back and hurry up and wrap this up because we got to get to New York. New York is calling. Hear that? Hang on. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nate Beck, and you're watching Cycle Source TV. Today, I'm on one of Harley Davidson's most controversial motorcycle models, the Pan America.
The Pan America 1250 ST, Harley's sport touring adventure bike, powered by a Revolution Max 1250 engine, a structural component of the chassis, eliminating frame weight, adding rigidity, centralizing mass to improve performance, boasting 94 foot-pounds of torque and 149 horsepower. HD shed some weight on the 1250 ST by introducing a slimmer profile, slimmer radiator, no crash bars, overall a sleeker setup. Screaming of a quick shifter comes stock on this bike, allowing for riders to shift faster without needing to clutch. Now let's talk about two design elements that I really think make this bike stand out. First is the open stainless exhaust. It makes the bike look fast even when it's sitting there, giving it that aggressive look. And second, I'm a big proponent for design elements that tie a bike together front to back. Here we can see the backside of the fairing and that line and curve that matches the leading edge of the tank, that matches the outside panel leading edge of the tank, flowing back to the rear of the tank that's dished out for a little space on the knees, and those all have similar curvatures and lines that I think really ties this bike together in a very tasteful way. There's no doubt to the amount of features that Harley put into the Pan America 1250 ST, but how does that translate to the riding experience?
Alright, so first impressions of the Pan America 1250 ST. I think Harley's done a fantastic job with the weight and the weight placement on this motorcycle. It's nimble in the canyons and roads, but it's still solid on the freeway, and I love that. So we've discussed what I like about this bike. Now there's two things that I think a potential buyer might be they might want to change it up, you know. The first is the peg width. My feet do hang off the side a little bit. The only other thing on this bike that I would like to see a little bit better is the windshield. It keeps the wind off my chest, which is nice, but if I'm going long distance on freeways and I'm really trying to crush the miles, I would really like a little bit taller windshield to get the wind off my head. Buy or a hard pass? Well, MSRP $19,999. I think this is very fairly priced. It's competitively priced to other bikes similar to it on the market, and you get a bike that, like I said earlier, you don't have to pull a bunch of parts off of it to get it to how you want it. Who is the ideal customer for this motorcycle? Two people. The first person is going to be someone who is into adventure bikes, and maybe they want one, like I was saying, that's a little bit heavier, tracks on the freeway a little bit better, can go a bit farther more comfortably. That can be the #1 candidate for this motorcycle. The second person is going to be someone like me who's been on cruisers and choppers their whole life, and we're just looking for a different feel out of a motorcycle, and this bike gives you exactly that.
You don't have to take my word for it though. Throw a leg over Pan America 1250 ST and go see for yourself. The sheer, well-rounded feel of this motorcycle will at least put a grin on your face, if not make you rethink what style of bike you want to be riding. Until next time, this is Nate with Cycle Source TV. Thanks for riding along.
Hey, I'm Chris with Cycle Source TV, and this is your product spotlight. So today's product spotlight is on the Milwaukee leather riding shoes. Really, really good product, man. I love that they started coming out with these a number of years ago. All the companies got hip to the idea that we all didn't want dingo boots anymore. Thank God. But they came out with shoes that look like the shoes that we wear just out on the street, but they're performance footwear for when you're riding a motorcycle. These ones here, absolutely top of the line. Looking forward to putting some miles on these things with the America 250. A lot of great features about this thing, man. Built-in shift pad, #1. Steel reinforced shank. Love this part of it. Zipper on the side so that you only have to lace these things up one time. Get them where you want them, good and tight. It's ready to go. The reinforced heel pocket keeps that thing where you need it to be. Now, we like these shoes so much that right off the rip, we're going to give a pair away. So like and share Cycle Source, Milwaukee Leather, and put a comment in below if you want to get a hold of them. Only catch is these are size 12 because that's the size that I wear. You're going to get the same size shoes that I'm wearing across America on our America 250 trip. Other thing that's important about these for anyone who's doing long miles in them is they are made from 100% full grain waterproof leather. So these are not just a pretty shoe. Actually going to get the job done. And this whole shoe comes in for $100. It's a great shoe whether you're doing a quick day ride, if you're going to put a couple 100 miles on. We're going to put several thousand miles on, and I'm going to tell you all about this shoe by the end. They come in a few different colors, the brown, the black that I have here, and you can pick out your favorite ones today. Tell them the guys from Cycle Source TV sent you.
Riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape. There's a flow to the road you share, so go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Hey, it's Billy from Twisted Tea. We're live in Sturgis, and you're watching Shop Talk.
All right, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio, and you are coming into the full 120 with Cycle Source Shop Talk this evening, man. We say that every once in a while, 90 to 120 minutes, all the 2-0 bullshit we can fit. Well, we have gone full boat tonight. Our guest, Drew, it was awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for giving us some headspace. And in closing, I wanted to get to this right off the rip at the beginning of the show, but we are sending out prayers and thoughts to the family of AMA Pro Racing's Dan Broomley. Horrible accident at the Lima Mile or Lima Half Mile, I apologize, and took his life on the track, and just absolute heartbreak. This is a generational family of the sport, and we're sending our prayers out to him tonight. So anyone that knew him or knows the family or a fan of the sport,
big prayers.
Big prayers.
Sad.
As for us, like we're saying, buddy, it's America 250 dead ahead. We're going to be at Ellis Island on Tuesday. I tell you to come and hang out with us, but it's going to be quick. We're hitting the road. But you can watch every night. Sign up to our YouTube channel. You can get our daily updates. Keep an eye on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of that, and we'll keep you guys abreast of all the adventure as it unfolds.
I'm ready.
Well, there you go.
That was a lot of stuff.
Now we got that over with.
That was a big old show.
Yeah, yes it was.
Well, you guys got nothing?
No, well, we threw it all out there. I think it was a different show. That was
an outstanding show, but I think I'm mentally exhausted, I think.
I know. Think about what the next one's going to be
like.
Oh,
sweet Jesus.
Right?
Yeah, let me know how that goes for you.
All right, man. Well, listen, again, thank you guys for making this happen, because here we are at episode number 347. 347?
Wow.
Yeah. Closing in on 350 while we go to ride 250. But it's all because of you. Thanks for letting us do this, and we'll see you next week when we come. Well, 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks, yeah.
When we come back with sore asses. We'll be here same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Don't be blowing yourself up with no fireworks, Felicia.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of Shop Talk. You can tune into this show live every week on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, thanks to our sponsors: Dennis Kirk, Deadwood Customs, S&S Cycle, Cycle Stop USA, Drag Specialties, Twin Power, Clockworks, Law Tigers, Progressive Insurance, Mid-USA, Garage Build, Spectro Oils, Milwaukee Leathers, Tech Cycles, Twisted Choppers, Twisted Tea, Drag Specialties Seats, Iron Horse Saloon, Lone Star Rally, Paco, Toes Performance, and Stevenson Cycle. Thanks for tuning in to America's first and favorite two-wheel talk show, Shop